Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, leaders and world changers, let me begin with a truth that is older than time and more powerful than any weapon. Words create worlds. Before anything was seen, it was spoken. In the beginning, there was the Word, and that Word did not describe reality. It created it. You are not a mistake. You're not an accident. You're not a product of chance. You're a product of purpose. But purpose must be activated by speech. You cannot become what you are afraid to declare. Let me tell you something that will shift your life. You don't speak because you are it. You speak until you become it. Greatness is never born in the spotlight. It is born in secret, spoken in faith, long before it's seen in fact. David said, I will defeat you while Goliath still stood tall. Joseph dreamed of ruling nations while wearing prison chains. Jesus declared, I am the resurrection and the life, before walking out of the grave. Your mouth must go where your feet have not yet arrived. The danger with many of us is that we keep rehearsing what is instead of declaring what will be. We say, I'm broke, I'm stuck, I'm tired, I'm lost. But let me ask you this. Who gave you the authority to curse what God has blessed? Stop giving your reality the last word. Speak according to your destiny, not your difficulty. Every time you open your mouth, you are planting. You are sowing into your tomorrow. And let me remind you, the soil of your life will grow whatever you sow, whether it's fear or faith, poverty or prosperity, confusion or clarity. So what are you planting with your mouth? When you speak once and nothing happens, speak again. When the situation gets worse, speak louder. When doubt knocks, open your mouth with truth. Repetition doesn't weaken the word, it fortifies your spirit. You don't speak because it's easy. You speak because it's necessary. Many people claim they believe in greatness, but they talk like grasshoppers. You say, one day I'll be successful, but your mouth speaks more about failure than faith. My friend, your tongue is the steering wheel of your life. If you don't like where you're headed, check what you're saying. Every time you say, I'm not good enough, you are agreeing with the enemy. Every time you say, people like me never make it, you are writing your own prison sentence. But I came here to tell you, the king has given you authority. Royalty must speak like royalty. You don't see it yet? Speak it. You don't feel it yet? Speak it. You don't believe it yet? Keep speaking it. Faith is not a feeling. It's not goosebumps. Faith is a force, and it is released by your tongue. Speak like the future is already here. Talk like your promise is waiting for you to arrive. Don't wait for confirmation. Your words are your confirmation. You were created to dominate, not survive. You were born to lead, not follow the crowd. You were designed to change your environment, not be changed by it. But you can't walk in leadership with the language of limitation. Speak like who you were born to be. Call yourself what God calls you until you see it in the mirror. The voice you believe the most is your own. Yes, others can encourage you. Yes, leaders can speak into your life. But until you say it, until you declare it, your soul won't move. If nobody else calls you chosen, you say it. If nobody else sees your potential, you declare it, speak it until you believe it until you live it until you become it. Your mouth is not a mirror, it is a mold. Don't just describe what you are. Shape what you shall become. So let this be your commitment from today forward. I will speak it until I become it. I will declare destiny. I will confess greatness. I will call out the leader within. I will speak until my voice matches my value. Because when the world hears you speak, they will not just hear a person, they will hear purpose in motion. The power of the spoken word is one of the most underestimated forces in the universe. Yet it is a foundation upon which everything visible was built. Before there were trees, mountains, oceans, or galaxies, there was speech. Words were not created to simply communicate. They were created to initiate, activate, and create. What you speak sets in motion realities that are unseen by the natural eye. When you open your mouth, you are either constructing a future or sabotaging it. Every word is a seed, and that seed never dies. It enters your atmosphere, plants itself in your circumstances, and waits for the right season to produce fruit. Words have a spiritual weight. They are not noise, they are carriers of intent, emotion, direction, and purpose. When you speak, you're not just expressing your thoughts, you're releasing creative energy. The universe doesn't respond to silence, it responds to speech. That's why silence in the face of fear, doubt, or crisis is dangerous. Because whatever is not resisted with the word is accepted by default. Every time you speak, you authorize something. Whether it's fear or faith, bondage or breakthrough. You must begin to treat your words like royal decrees. Kings do not speak casually. Their words carry law. You are created in the image of a king. Therefore, your language must reflect authority. Stop using your words to describe your pain. Use them to declare your purpose. Too many people use their mouth to reinforce their limitations instead of announcing their liberation. They say things like, I'm tired, I'll never succeed, things never work for me, and then they wonder why their life mirrors that exact narrative. You don't get what you want, you get what you speak with conviction. The atmosphere around you is voice activated. Your house, your business, your relationships, your finance, all of them are waiting for instructions. And if you are silent, or worse, if your speech is filled with doubt, then you are handing your future over to circumstances. Your words should not echo your reality, they should echo your destiny. Speak from where you're going, not where you are. Speak from your vision, not from your valley. Every breakthrough in history started with a declaration. Freedom was spoken before it was walked in. Healing was declared before it was felt. Success was proclaimed before it was achieved. There is no power in wishful thinking if it is not backed by bold speaking. Your mouth is the engine of your future. And what you continually say will eventually dominate what you consistently experience. This is why your daily language matters more than your occasional prayers. You can't pray for purpose, but speak failure all day. You can't declare prosperity once a week and speak lack every time a bill shows up. Your words must be disciplined to serve your assignment. Speak on purpose. Speak with authority. Speak what you believe, not just what you feel. Because the word you speak today will become the life you live tomorrow. It's not something that begins with visibility, it begins with voice. Before anyone sees who you are meant to be, you must first declare it. The world is waiting to respond to the sound of your self-understanding. Nothing in your life will take shape until your mouth begins to give it definition. Identity is not discovered by accident. It is revealed through intentional declaration. You must speak who you are long before others recognize it, long before the circumstances match it, and long before your environment affirms it. Think of every great leader, visionary, or world changer. They were misunderstood, rejected, doubted, because they declared an identity that their surroundings could not yet comprehend. When Joseph dreamed of ruling, his brothers only saw a shepherd boy. When Moses was called a deliverer, even he didn't believe it at first. But purpose doesn't wait for public agreement. Purpose responds to personal conviction. You don't need the world to confirm who you are before you speak it. You need to be convinced enough to say it when no one claps, no one agrees, and nothing looks like your words. This is why silence in seasons of uncertainty is dangerous. If you do not speak your true identity, the world will assign one to you, and usually it will be based on your past, your wounds, or your weaknesses. The names others give you are temporary. What you call yourself is eternal. Your identity must come from within, not from reaction, but from revelation. You were created with intention, with design, with divine DNA. And your words are the ignition switch that brings that identity into motion. When you say, I am a leader, even when no one follows you, you are planting a truth that time will water. When you say, I am chosen, even when life feels like rejection, you are rehearsing heaven's report over your life. When you say, I am valuable, even when others overlook you, you are aligning with your original design. Identity is not formed by what happens around you. It is formed by what you consistently declare, especially when no one sees what you see. There will always be a gap between who you are becoming and what the world can recognize. That gap must be filled with your voice. You have to keep speaking until your future catches up to your words. Don't wait for the evidence to speak your identity. Speak your identity until the evidence appears. Because the world does not shape who you are. It is who you declare yourself to be that eventually shapes the world. Your mouth is not just an instrument of speech. It is an instrument of creation. It functions like a pen, writing on the pages of your future with every word you release. Every sentence you speak is a stroke of ink, forming the story you will eventually live. You are scripting your destiny moment by moment, not with your intentions, not with your dreams, but with your daily declarations. You don't step into your future, you speak into it. Before you arrive at any destination in life, your words have already paved the road. This is why careless language is costly. Speaking without intention is like writing without direction. You might be passionate, but if your words are not aligned with your purpose, you keep scripting chapters of confusion. Your future doesn't respond to emotion, it responds to language. And what you consistently say will become what you repeatedly see. You can't talk defeat and expect victory. You can't speak lack and walk into abundance. You can't confess weakness and expect to operate in strength. The future is voice activated, and your mouth is holding the key. Some people wonder why their lives don't change, why patterns keep repeating, why breakthrough always feels delayed. But the truth is, you cannot write a new future with old language. You can't bring a promise tomorrow into existence if you're still narrating your past. You must speak forward. Your words must point in the direction of your purpose. Speak not where you are, but where you are going. Use your mouth to frame your vision, to shape your tomorrow, to pull your potential into the present. The reality is that every word you speak is either authoring your freedom or reinforcing your limitations. And the most dangerous pen is the one that writes failure while blaming fate. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a product of your confessions. You have the power to rewrite your story, but you must be intentional about the words you use to write it. Speak with vision. Speak with precision. Speak with alignment. Because your future is not waiting to happen. It is waiting to be written. And the pen is already in your hand. Before you can hold something in your hand, you must first carry it in your mouth. Confession always precedes possession. Nothing truly becomes yours until you boldly declare that it is. Life does not deliver what you desire, it delivers what you claim. You may believe something deep in your heart, but until that belief becomes your language, it cannot manifest into reality. What you confess, you authorize. What you declare, you empower. You are not waiting on things to happen. Things are waiting on you to speak. This is not about empty positive thinking. It is about spiritual alignment. You are created in the image of a creator who spoke things into being. That same authority lies dormant in you until you release it through confession. When you open your mouth and declare a promise, you are not making it true. You are coming into agreement with truth. Your confession is the activation key. Healing becomes real when you confess, I am healed. Victory becomes tangible when you confess, I am more than a conqueror. You don't wait for evidence to speak. You speak until evidence shows up. Many people wait for the situation to change before they change their language. But faith works in reverse. You speak it first, then see it. Abraham was called the father of many nations while he had no child. God changed his name so that every time he introduced himself, he was confessing his promise. His mouth carried the future long before his arms did. That is the principle. Speak it even when you don't see it. Declare it even when you can't feel it. Own it with your words. Before you possess it with your life. But you refuse to confess, you delay. Silence delays fulfillment, and contradiction cancels authority. You can't pray for abundance and confess poverty. You can't ask for freedom and speak bondage. Your confession must align with your expectation. If you're going to walk in it, you have to talk like it. Your words must match your inheritance. Speak as if it's already yours. Because in the realm of purpose, it is. Every territory you're meant to occupy, every level you're called to rise to, every breakthrough that's signed to your life, it's already waiting. But it won't come just because you hope for it. It comes when you open your mouth and confess it as your own. That's how spiritual ownership begins. Confession is the down payment of possession. When you say it, you start the process. When you say it again, you sustain it. And when you say it until it becomes real, you walk into what was always yours. What you see around you is temporary, but what you see within you is eternal. Circumstances change, shift, and deceive, but vision is anchored in purpose. If you speak only from what's happening around you, your language will be unstable, driven by emotion, pressure, and limitation. But when you speak from vision, you speak from clarity, you speak from truth, you speak from a place that is not dictated by what is, but by what must be. Vision gives your voice direction, and direction gives your life power. Your current situation might look like lack, failure, delay, or defeat. But your vision says something else. Your vision sees beyond the struggle. It speaks through the storm. It talks from the place of your assignment, not your affliction. The danger of living from circumstances is that it makes you reactive, not creative. You become a commentator on life instead of a commander of it. But when you speak from vision, you are not responding to the world, you are reshaping it. You are not echoing problems, you are announcing solutions. Look at anyone who ever changed history. They didn't speak from the pain of the moment, they spoke from the picture in their spirit. They saw something others didn't, and they dared to declare it. Visionaries talk differently. Their language is not based on facts, but on truth. Facts say it's impossible. Vision says all things are possible. Facts say you're not qualified. Vision says you're already chosen. When you speak from vision, you borrow words from your future to instruct your present. It is easy to let hardship dominate your vocabulary. It is easy to speak based on how you feel. But feelings are temporary. Vision is eternal. When you are in a season of struggle, the most dangerous thing you can do is let your mouth become a mirror for your mess. Speak from your mission. Speak from the end, not the middle. Speak as someone who has already overcome, already won, already risen. Because your words must not follow your life. Your life must follow your words. Don't let your current condition silence your calling. Don't let your temporary discomfort distort your declaration. Your vision must drive your voice, and your voice must lead your life. Speak from the place of your promise, even if everything around you says otherwise, because what you say consistently from vision will eventually reconstruct the world around you to match what's being revealed inside you. Every word that leaves your mouth carries creative power. Whether you recognize it or not, your words are forming the framework of your reality. The world you live in today is a reflection of the words you've spoken in days, months, or even years past. You are not just living in a situation, you are living in a structure that your speech helped build. Words don't disappear after they're spoken. They go to work. They shape thoughts, reinforce beliefs, build atmospheres, and create momentum in a specific direction, either toward purpose or away from it. You cannot speak failure daily and expect to walk in success. You cannot talk fear constantly and expect to move with courage. Your life begins to conform to the narrative you repeatedly tell yourself and others. Words set boundaries or break them. They build walls or open doors. They nurture growth or choke it. This is why you must become conscious and intentional with your language, because every sentence you release is construction material for your future. You can't afford to be careless with speech when your destiny is listening. The spiritual and emotional climate of your life is governed by your vocabulary. Some people are living in chaos, not because they lack opportunity, but because their words are sowing confusion. Others are stuck, not because of outside resistance, but because they keep speaking limitation over themselves. When you say nothing ever changes, you're not just expressing frustration, you're reinforcing stagnation. When you declare this is just the way things are, you're not being realistic, you're being restrictive. And what you repeat becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes what you build. To change your life, you must change your language. Begin to speak what you want to see, not just what you currently see. Call forth peace where there is tension. Speak favor where there is resistance. Declare growth where there is delay. Your words are tools of transformation. They are more than expressions. They are commands to your future. Your world is voice activated, and your speech is the script that reality follows. If you want a new atmosphere, write it with new words. Speak differently, live differently. Because the world you experience tomorrow will look a lot like the words you're speaking today. Wishing is passive. It feels hopeful, but it carries no weight in the realm of manifestation. Wishing waits. Declaring moves. Wishing is rooted in desire. Declaring is rooted in decision. You don't become what you wish, because wishes don't create movement. Declarations do. When you declare something, you're not just hoping for it to happen, you're authorizing it to begin. You're giving your future an assignment. You're setting a standard that your life must now rise to meet. There are countless people who wish for a better life, a healthier mind, a stronger relationship, a successful future, but their words never rise to the level of their desire. They whisper dreams but speak defeat. They imagine progress but confess problems. And the truth is, you cannot walk into what you continually talk against. The power to shape your reality is not hidden in your thoughts or stored in your feelings. It is released through your voice. What you say consistently becomes the atmosphere that surrounds you and the direction that guides you. When you declare something, you're drawing a line in the sand. You're announcing to yourself, to your environment, and to every invisible force around you that this is who you are, this is what you expect, and this is where you're headed. Declarations are bold, disruptive, and prophetic. They don't wait for confirmation, they create it. When you say, I am healed, you are giving your body and your mind instructions. When you say, I am favored, you are commanding doors to respond to your presence. When you say, I am a leader, you are positioning yourself to rise, regardless of who recognizes it. You can't live a declared life with a silent mouth. You must speak until what you've declared becomes undeniable. Speak when it feels foolish. Speak when no one believes. Speak until your environment aligns with your identity. The more you declare, the more you train your mind, your actions, and your habits to follow the direction of your words. Wishing may comfort you, but only declaring will change you. Because your life is not built on desire, it is built on decision. And that decision must be spoken aloud again and again until what was once invisible becomes your new reality. Repetition is not redundancy, it is reinforcement. Every time you speak truth, you are pressing it deeper into your spirit, carving it into your consciousness, and building a new internal structure that can carry the weight of what you've declared. Revelation doesn't always strike like lightning. Often it rises like the sun, gradually, steadily, and only through continued exposure. What you repeat becomes what you believe. And what you believe becomes what you embody. You cannot step into the fullness of truth until that truth has been repeated enough to reshape the way you see, think, and speak. There is a reason powerful truths must be declared again and again. The first time you say it, your mind may reject it. The second time, your emotions might resist it. But the third, fourth, and fifth time, it begins to settle. The soil of your soul becomes ready to receive it, and something begins to shift. Repetition breaks down mental resistance. It overcomes years of negative programming. It dismantles lies you've believed and builds new foundations of clarity and confidence. The more you say it, the more you see it, not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. Repetition is not for convincing others. It's for converting you. It's not about being loud, it's about being consistent. When you declare, I am called, I am strong, I am whole, I am enough, you're not trying to impress the world. You are instructing your inner world. You are teaching your heart to trust what your mind is still learning. You are disciplining your thoughts to follow your faith. The revelation doesn't come from hearing it once. It comes from hearing it until you no longer doubt it. Even the most powerful seed needs time and watering. Repetition is how you water the truth in your life. It's how you keep the soil warm and ready for manifestation. What you repeat becomes your rhythm, and your rhythm becomes your reality. So keep speaking it, even when it feels stale, even when it seems slow, even when your circumstances don't yet agree. Because with every repetition, the truth gets louder inside you, and the lies lose their hold. And once the revelation is fully formed in you, nothing outside of you can shake what's been rooted within. Your destiny is too great to be sabotaged by careless speech. You cannot afford to speak loosely when your words are shaping the very road you're called to walk. If your future is sacred, then so must be your language. Every word you release is either aligning you with where you're going or anchoring you to where you've been. You don't just prepare for destiny through actions. You prepare through articulation. Speaking with discipline is not about sounding impressive. It's about sounding intentional. Your mouth must be trained to serve your mission, not your moods. When your language lacks discipline, your life lacks direction. You begin to react to what's around you instead of responding to what's within you. You start echoing your environment rather than expressing your assignment. But when your words are submitted to your calling, your speech becomes strategic. You no longer say whatever feels convenient. You say what is consistent with your identity and your purpose. You correct yourself when your mouth wanders. You guard your declarations the same way a general guards a battle plan, because you understand that one careless phrase can delay what you've spent years building in belief. You can't speak doubt and expect clarity. You can't speak fear and expect courage. You can't speak limitation and expect expansion. If your destiny is one of influence, leadership, healing, breakthrough, innovation, or transformation, then your vocabulary must match that reality. Talk like where you're going, not like where you're stuck. Talk like what you're building, not like what you've lost. Talk like what's possible, not like what's convenient. Destiny doesn't bend to fit your current language. Your language must be elevated to match your divine destination. This requires discipline, daily, deliberate, and even difficult at times. There will be moments when emotions tempt you to speak recklessly. There will be seasons where frustration makes negativity feel justified. But those are the moments when you must speak from vision, not from feeling. You don't adjust your words to reflect your pressure. You adjust them to reflect your promise. You practice speaking life. Even when death is knocking, you rehearse the language of your future until it becomes the only dialect your spirit recognizes. Discipline is not restriction. It's alignment. When your words are disciplined, your life follows a clear course. You begin to speak as someone who understands the weight of their calling. You speak as someone who knows the world is listening. And more importantly, you speak as someone who refuses to contradict what heaven has already declared over their life. No voice carries more authority in your life than your own. Others can inspire you, teach you, or even correct you. But it's your voice that ultimately determines what takes root in your heart. What you say about yourself carries the most weight because it echoes the deepest beliefs you hold. You can hear 1,000 affirmations from others, but if your inner dialogue is filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, those external voices will be drowned out. Your words are not just communication, they're confirmation. And the voice you believe most is the one you hear the most, your own. Your voice is the narrator of your identity. It's the lens through which you interpret your worth, your potential, your past, and your future. What you consistently tell yourself becomes the soundtrack of your life, shaping your choices, your posture, your confidence, and your expectations. This is why it's not enough to hear truth. You have to speak it. You have to say what aligns with who you truly are and who you are becoming. Because your mind listens when you speak, and your spirit responds when your confession carries conviction. When you declare, I am enough, I am called, I am strong, even if no one else says it, you begin to believe it. And that belief becomes the foundation of transformation. You don't need the loudest voice, you need the clearest one. And that clarity must begin within. Your voice must be trained, not just to repeat inspiration, but to embody it. Every time you speak life over yourself, you silence the lies that once ruled your thinking. Every time you declare purpose, you dismantle doubt. Every time you choose truth, you take authority over fear. No one lives beyond the level of their inner conversation. If your own voice is filled with insecurity, you'll retreat even in moments of opportunity. If it's filled with strength, you'll advance even in the face of resistance. Your voice sets your tone, your tempo, your trajectory. Others may add to your momentum, but it's your own words that either push you forward or pull you back. So speak with intention. Speak with faith. Speak with consistency. Because the voice you hear the most is shaping the person you become. And the person you become determines the life you live. So hear this. Your future is not waiting for permission. It is waiting for your voice. You will not arrive by accident. You will arrive by declaration. What you speak, you shape. What you declare, you build. Your destiny is voice activated, and your words are either releasing your potential or reinforcing your prison. You do not become what you feel or what you wish. You become what you speak, consistently, boldly, and with conviction. Refuse to let your mouth cancel what heaven has confirmed. Refuse to let your language be casual when your calling is critical. Speak it until you believe it. Speak it until you walk in it. Speak it until everything around you has no choice but to align with what's inside you. Because when your mouth and your mission agree, mountains move, atmospheres shift, and what once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. Don't wait for change. Declare it. Don't wait for clarity. Speak it. Don't wait for permission. Use your voice. Because your voice holds power. Speak it until you become it.